The shocking revelation. In the vast, silent darkness of space, a lone human named Alex drifted aboard an aging spacecraft. The hum of the engines was steady but faint, a reminder of how fragile this vessel was against the endless void outside. Alex wasn't a soldier or a scientist, just an ordinary explorer with an extraordinary knack for getting into trouble. But this time, trouble wasn't just knocking, it was pounding on the door. It started with a distress signal, a crackling, eerie call from a far-off point in space. The voice, distorted and otherworldly, repeated the same phrase. Human presence detected. Proceed to the coordinates. Judgment awaits. Alex's heart raced as they replayed the message. Judgment. What did that mean? Was it a warning, a trap, or something even worse? Curiosity and fear battled within Alex, but curiosity won. They'd punched in the coordinates and followed the signal to a desolate region of the galaxy. The sight that greeted them was breathtaking and terrifying. A colossal alien structure floating in the void, glowing faintly with an eerie green light. It looked ancient, alive in some strange way, as though it had been waiting for this moment. As Alex approached, the ship's systems flickered, and a strange energy pulse rippled through the vessel. Alarms blared, but there was no turning back now. A docking mechanism extended from the alien structure, pulling Alex's ship in like a predator claiming its prey. The ship shook violently, and Alex gripped the controls, their knuckles white. When the ship came to a halt, silence fell. Alex grabbed their helmet, took a deep breath, and stepped into the airlock. The doors hissed open, revealing a corridor bathed in dim, pulsating light. The air smelled metallic and sharp, even through the filtration system. Alex's footsteps echoed as they moved cautiously, their flashlight cutting through the shadows. Suddenly, the walls seemed to come alive, shifting and reshaping. Strange symbols glowed faintly, and the hum of alien machinery grew louder. A voice, deep and resonant, filled the corridor. Human, it said, as though tasting the word. Your body is weak. Your mind is fragile. Yet you dare to come here. Alex froze, their heart pounding. I didn't mean to intrude, they stammered, their voice shaking. I received a signal. I thought someone needed help. The voice laughed, a sound that sent chills down Alex's spine. Help. No, human. You are here to prove your worth, or perish. Before Alex could respond, the floor beneath them shifted, and they fell into a vast chamber. The walls shimmered with alien technology, displaying images of galaxies, battles, and beings far beyond anything Alex had imagined. In the center of the room stood a towering figure, clearly the source of the voice. Its body was a fusion of organic and mechanical parts, its eyes glowing with an unearthly light. Your kind is unprepared, the figure said, stepping closer. Your bodies are fragile, your technology primitive. Yet you persist, reaching beyond your limits. This intrigues us. Alex swallowed hard, their mind racing. Who are you? They managed to ask. Why am I here? We are the Watchers, the figure replied. We have observed your species from afar. Now we test you. If you survive, you will prove that humanity deserves a place among the stars. If not, your existence will end here. Alex's breath caught in their throat. This was no ordinary encounter. This was a test of survival, and failure wasn't an option. They looked up at the alien, fear and determination battling within them. I'll do whatever it takes, Alex said, their voice steadier now. But don't underestimate humans. We're tougher than we look. The alien tilted its head, as if amused. We shall see, it said. Your first challenge begins now. Without warning, the floor beneath Alex shifted again, and they found themselves falling into a new, darker chamber. The air was thick, the walls alive with strange, shifting patterns. Alex's instincts screamed to run, but there was nowhere to go. They were alone, facing the unknown. The voice echoed again, fainter but still menacing. Survive this, human. Prove your worth, or perish. As Alex stood there, heart pounding, they realized something important. They might not be ready for this. Their body might not be built for these challenges. But humanity's greatest strength wasn't physical. It was the ability to adapt, to find a way when none seemed possible. And Alex was about to show these watchers just how powerful that could be. The story was only beginning, but one thing was certain. Whatever happened next would change everything. The first encounter, facing the unknown. Alex's boots touched the ground of the alien chamber with a soft thud. The floor felt warm, as if alive beneath the surface. Faint, shifting patterns moved under the translucent material, resembling veins of glowing energy. Every step Alex took seemed to disturb the stillness, triggering faint ripples that spread across the chamber. The silence was deafening. No voices, no signs of life. Just the slow, rhythmic hum of the ship's machinery, echoing like a heartbeat. Then, out of the shadows, they emerge. 3 towering figures, standing at least 10 feet tall, stepped forward. Their bodies were sleek, covered in dark, armor-like plating that shimmered faintly with each movement. Their eyes, cold and unblinking, glowed a pale blue, scanning Alex with unsettling precision. One of the aliens stepped closer, tilting its head as if curious. Its voice rang out, but its mouth never moved. "Human, you are smaller than expected." Alex fought the urge to step back. "I didn't expect to be here either," they replied, forcing a nervous chuckle. The alien's eyes narrowed. "You are unarmed, unprepared. Why?" Alex hesitated. "I thought this was a distress call. I came to help." A low, mechanical growl vibrated through the chamber. Laughter, perhaps. The tallest of the 3 aliens stepped forward now, speaking in a voice that seemed to pierce the air. "Help. From you." The alien leaned down, towering over Alex. "Your body is weak. Your kind is not built for survival. What do you hope to accomplish here?" Alex swallowed hard but stood their ground. "Humans survive because we adapt. We don't need to be the strongest." For a moment, there was silence. Then, without warning, the chamber floor began to shift beneath Alex's feet. The aliens stepped back, as if watching from the sidelines. The room darkened as panels slid open, revealing strange mechanisms hidden in the walls. A sharp hiss filled the air. Alex's breathing quickened as something began to crawl out from the dark recesses of the chamber. Limbs, metallic and insect-like, clicked and scraped along the floor, drawing closer with each passing second. "The test begins now," the alien declared coldly. "Run, human." Alex didn't need to be told twice. The challenge begins, pushed to the edge. Alex's pulse pounded as they sprinted down the twisting corridors of the alien vessel. Behind them, the sound of clicking metallic limbs echoed louder, faster. Whatever was chasing them wasn't just fast, it was relentless. The corridor ahead branched into 3 paths, each shrouded in darkness. Alex skidded to a stop, gasping for breath. The alien machinery crawling after them let out a sharp mechanical screech, its silhouette just visible at the far end of the hall. "Think, Alex. Think," they muttered, scanning the pathways. Going left felt too easy. Right seemed ominous, as if the shadows swallowed everything whole. The middle, straight ahead, felt like a death sentence. But something caught their eye, a faint shimmer along the left wall, almost like a trick of the light. Alex pressed their hand against it. The surface was smooth, cold. Suddenly, the wall shifted under their touch, pulling away to reveal a hidden passage just wide enough to squeeze through. Without hesitation, Alex slipped inside, and the wall sealed shut behind them with a soft hiss. Silence. Alex leaned against the cold wall, panting heavily. The sound of the mechanical pursuer faded as it rushed past the hidden passage, continuing down the corridor. Alex's heart pounded in their ears, but relief washed over them. One step ahead, for now. The hidden passage led to a large chamber unlike anything Alex had seen. The walls glowed softly, pulsating with streams of energy. Alien symbols carved into the walls flickered and shifted, as if watching Alex's every move. In the center stood a pedestal, its surface covered in strange, rune-like markings. Curiosity tugged at Alex's mind, but the memory of the alien's words lingered. Your kind is weak, unprepared. Was this part of the test? Alex approached the pedestal cautiously. As their hand hovered above it, the room responded. Panels slid open around them, revealing a series of glowing orbs suspended in midair. Each orb flickered, projecting brief glimpses of alien landscapes, star systems, and towering figures, much like the aliens Alex had met. But one orb caught Alex's attention. It didn't show alien worlds. It showed Earth. The image hovered for a moment before vanishing, replaced by a flickering countdown timer. What is this? Alex whispered, stepping closer. Before they could investigate further, the floor beneath them lit up, forming a circular platform. The pedestal shifted, retracting into the ground, and a new voice, mechanical and cold, filled the chamber. Second phase initiated. Human, prepare for physical trial. A loud clank echoed behind Alex. They spun around to see the walls split apart, revealing two mechanical constructs. These machines were humanoid in shape but far bulkier, their movements precise and calculated. Their eyes glowed with the same pale blue light as the alien figures. One stepped forward, raising an arm. The metal twisted and reshaped itself into a blade, gleaming under the chamber's light. Fight or fall. Alex's eyes darted around the room. There were no weapons, no armor, nothing but the empty platform and the machines advancing toward them. You've got to be kidding me, Alex muttered, backing away slowly. The first machine lunged. Alex ducked just in time, the blade slicing through the air inches from their head. They stumbled but regained their footing, adrenaline coursing through their veins. Okay, if I can't fight with strength, I'll fight with my head. Alex glanced at the glowing orbs overhead. They seemed to react to movement, flickering every time Alex shifted. A plan formed quickly, one that was risky, but better than standing still. Let's see if you can keep up. Alex sprinted across the platform, weaving between the machines. As the constructs followed, Alex leaped, striking one of the orbs overhead with their hand. The orb burst into a flash of light, disorienting the machines momentarily. That worked. The machines recalibrated quickly, but Alex had already struck another orb, causing the floor beneath them to shift, creating an uneven surface. One of the machines stumbled, giving Alex enough time to grab a loose metal rod from the platform's edge. It wasn't much, but it was something. As the machines recovered, Alex gripped the rod tightly. I may not be ready for this, they said under their breath, but I'm not going down without a fight. The constructs lunged again. Alex sidestepped, striking one with the rod, sparks flying as the impact left a deep dent in the machine's arm. The second construct swung its blade, but Alex ducked, landing a sharp blow to its leg joint. One machine collapsed to one knee, struggling to recalibrate. Come on, break already. Alex struck the orb above the machine, causing a pulse of energy to ripple down. The construct shuddered, its systems failing one by one until it slumped over, motionless. One down, one to go. The second machine, however, wasn't as easy. It adapted, moving faster, anticipating Alex's strikes. The rod was beginning to bend under the strain, and Alex's energy was draining. I can't win this with brute force. Glancing around the room, Alex spotted the glowing pedestal from earlier, now faintly flickering. The machine charged, and Alex ran toward the pedestal, sliding at the last second as the machine's blade narrowly missed their shoulder. Alex slammed the rod against the pedestal. A loud pulse shook the room as the machine's systems flickered violently. The light in its eyes dimmed before the construct collapsed in a heap. Silence returned. Alex dropped to their knees, gasping for breath. Trial complete, the mechanical voice announced. Proceed to the next phase. Alex laughed softly, wiping sweat from their brow. If this is only the second phase, I'm in serious trouble. Unlikely alliances. Friends in the shadows. The chamber's lights dimmed as the defeated machines lay motionless at Alex's feet. The soft hum of alien machinery faded, replaced by the distant echo of shifting balls. Alex stood in the center of the room, the metal rod still clutched tightly in their trembling hand. A door slid open ahead, revealing another corridor bathed in pale blue light. Alex hesitated. The last two tests had nearly ended them. Whatever lay beyond this door wasn't going to be easier. Next phase, Alex muttered, forcing one foot forward. Sure, why not? As they stepped into the corridor, the air grew warmer, heavier. The walls seemed to press in closer, alive with faint pulsing cymbals that shifted and changed with each step. Then Alex heard it. A soft shuffle, barely audible but unmistakable. Someone, or something, was following them. Alex tightened their grip on the metal rod. Who's there? Silence. They spun around, scanning the corridor. Nothing. But Alex could feel it. Eyes watching from the shadows. Suddenly, a panel in the wall slid open, and a figure stumbled out, collapsing to the floor. Alex jumped back, raising the rod defensively. It wasn't an alien machine. It was another human. The man groaned, struggling to sit up. His clothes were torn, and his face was covered in grime and sweat. His dark hair stuck to his forehead, and he squinted at Alex as if seeing a ghost. Another one, he rasped, his voice hoarse. How long have you been here? Alex lowered the rod, stepping closer. Not long. Who are you? The man let out a dry chuckle. Nathan. Been stuck in this place for days, maybe weeks. Hard to tell. He groaned, leaning against the wall. I thought I was the only one left. Alex crouched beside him. What happened? Nathan glanced around nervously. I passed the first trial. Barely. Then they threw me into some kind of maze. There were others, but I lost them. I think. He trailed off, his eyes darkening. I think they didn't make it. Alex felt a knot tighten in their chest. You're saying there are more humans here? Nathan nodded weakly. At least there were. This place, it pulls people in from different systems. If you're human, they want to test you. Alex's mind raced. This wasn't just about them anymore. There were others, survivors hidden in the maze of alien corridors, each fighting their own battle. Come on, Alex said, helping Nathan to his feet. We can't stay here. Nathan winced as he stood. Where are we even going? Alex glanced down the corridor. Forward. If we're going to survive this, we need to stick together. Nathan gave a weak nod. Lead the way. As they moved deeper into the corridor, Nathan explained what little he knew. The aliens, those tall ones with glowing eyes, they're called the Watchers. They think humans are an experiment, something to study and push until we break. Asterisk, asterisk. Alex frowned. Why us? Nathan smirked. Because we keep surprising them. Most species that get pulled into this place don't last long. But humans, we're stubborn. Alex couldn't help but smile faintly. Sounds about right. They continued forward, the corridor eventually opening into a massive, circular chamber. Unlike the sterile metallic halls they'd passed through, this room felt ancient, like a cathedral carved from alien stone. The air buzzed with a strange energy. But they weren't alone. Figures emerged from the shadows. 5 in total. 2 were human. 1 woman with sharp eyes and short-cropped hair, and a younger boy no older than 16. The other 3 weren't. One towered over the rest, covered in sleek, scaled armor. Its 4 arms rested at its sides, and its reptilian eyes locked onto Alex and Nathan with quiet interest. Beside it stood a smaller, insectoid figure with spindly limbs and mandibles that clicked softly. The last one was almost ghostly, shrouded in a flowing metallic cloak with a face that flickered like static. Nathan stiffened. They're not all human. The reptilian figure stepped forward, crossing its lower arms while keeping the upper two raised slightly, a gesture that felt halfway between curiosity and readiness. Another survivor. Its voice rumbled, low and guttural. Alex nodded cautiously. We're not looking for trouble, just trying to survive. The figure regarded Alex for a long moment before lowering its upper arms. Good. Then you'll need us. Nathan glanced at Alex uneasily. I don't trust them. They're not our enemies. Alex replied. Not right now. The woman with short hair stepped closer, crossing her arms. Name's Mara. We've been trying to find a way out. So far, no luck. Alex exchanged glances with Nathan. Then maybe it's time we stop running, Alex said. If the Watchers want to test us, let's give them something they weren't expecting. Mara raised an eyebrow. And what's that? Alex's grip tightened on the metal rod. A fight they'll never forget. The turning point. Humanity's gamble. The unlikely group stood in the center of the alien chamber, tension thick in the air. The flickering lights above cast long shadows on the walls, dancing like silent spectators to the gathering below. Alex scanned the faces of their new companions, Mara's hardened stare, Nathan's nervous fidgeting, the silent alien forms looming at the edges of the circle. There was no trust yet, only the thin thread of survival binding them together. We can't stay here, Mara said, her voice low but firm. The Watchers will send more constructs. This place is a trap. Nathan shifted uneasily. And where exactly do we go? Every hallway feels like it's leading us deeper into a maze. The reptilian alien, who had introduced itself as Carl, let out a soft growl. The maze is the point. They separate us, test us. But this chamber, it's different. Older. I believe it leads somewhere they don't control. Alex's interest peaked. You think there's a way out? Carl's eyes narrowed. I believe there's something they fear hidden beyond this room. Mara scoffed. Sounds more like a good way to die faster. Or the only way we win, Alex said, stepping forward. Their voice carried more confidence than they felt. The insectoid alien, who had yet to speak, clicked its mandibles softly. Finally, it spoke in a whisper-like tone. We cannot escape by hiding. The Watchers, they respect strength. If we want freedom, we must take it. The words hung in the air like a challenge. Nathan let out a shaky breath. Right. So, we're just supposed to fight our way out of a fortress run by all-powerful alien overlords. Mara glanced at Alex. Got any better ideas, hero? Alex's grip tightened on the metal rod. I don't know about all-powerful, but they bleed. I saw it during the trials. Their machines aren't perfect. We hit them hard enough. We break through. Carol's eyes gleamed. Human thinking. Reckless, but not without merit. Mara crossed her arms, studying Alex. All right. Say I'm crazy enough to follow this. What's the plan? Alex stepped toward the pedestal at the center of the room. The alien symbol still flickered faintly, but something told them this was important, maybe even the key to their escape. We stop reacting, Alex said. We make the first move. Nathan frowned. And how exactly do we pull that off? Alex traced their fingers along the pedestal surface, feeling the soft hum of energy beneath. They remembered the flashes of Earth in the previous chamber. The Watchers had been watching humanity for a long time. That meant somewhere, in the heart of this fortress, there was more than just surveillance. The Watchers see us as nothing but subjects, Alex continued. They've studied us, tested us. But I think there's something more here, something they're protecting. Carol's reptilian eyes narrowed. A weapon? Or knowledge, Alex said. Either way, if they fear it, we can use it. The insectoid alien let out a series of soft clicks. And if we fail? Alex's eyes hardened. Then at least we go down fighting together. I'd rather die trying than let them control me. Silence settled over the chamber. One by one, the others nodded. Mara smirked. All right, hero. Let's make some noise. The group moved as one, following the hidden pathways Carol led them through. The corridors twisted and turned, spiraling deeper into the heart of the fortress. Alex's heart raced with each step, but they forced themselves to stay calm. It wasn't long before the fortress began to react. The walls groaned as mechanical constructs emerged from hidden panels, their glowing eyes locking onto the intruders. Here we go, Nathan shouted, ducking behind Mara as the first machine lunged. Carol roared, slamming two of his powerful arms into the nearest construct, sending it crashing to the ground in a heap of sparking metal. Mara fired a plasma rifle she had scavenged from one of the fallen. The Watcher tilted its head slightly, almost as if amused by their caution. Your defiance is predictable, it said, its voice echoing without movement from its mouth. Humans always resist. It is why you are fascinating, and why you will fail. Nathan stepped closer to Alex, his voice low. So, how exactly do we fight a floating alien overlord? Before Alex could answer, the Watcher raised one hand. From the walls, sleek, black constructs emerged, larger and more heavily armored than the ones they had faced before. Their limbs crackled with blue energy, and their eyes burned with the same glow as the Watchers. They learn, Carl growled, stepping forward. These are not the same machines we destroyed before. Alex's heart raced. The Watchers weren't just testing them. They were adapting. This wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about proving something. We can't beat them head-on, Alex said, gripping the metal rod tightly. But we don't need to. Mara glanced sideways. Got a plan? Alex nodded toward the glowing core. That's what they're protecting. If we take it, we shut this place down. Nathan's eyes widened. You want to steal their power source? Not steal, Alex replied. Destroy. Carl grinned, revealing sharp, predatory teeth. Now you sound like one of us. The Watcher's gaze flickered toward the core, almost as if sensing their intent. You will not reach it, it declared coldly. This fortress is alive. It bends to our will. Suddenly, the ground beneath them began to shift. The circular platforms surrounding the core started to rise, separating them from their goal. The constructs advanced, blocking the only path forward. Move, Alex shouted. Carol charged first, roaring as he slammed into the nearest construct, sending it crashing into the wall. Sparks erupted as Mara opened fire, targeting the exposed joints of the remaining machines. Nathan scrambled behind the battle line, searching for weak points in the fortress's control panels. Alex sprinted toward the ascending platform. The metal rod in their hand crackled with residual energy as they leaped, gripping the edge of the rising platform with one hand and swinging up. The Watcher descended slowly to intercept Alex, its gaze unyielding. You are not ready, it said softly. Alex narrowed their eyes. Maybe not, but humans don't wait until they're ready. The Watcher raised a hand, and a blast of blue energy erupted toward Alex. They ducked, feeling the heat sear the air above their head. Rolling forward, Alex struck the rod against the edge of the core's containment field. Energy rippled out, but the barrier held firm. Nathan, I need that field down, Alex shouted. Below, Nathan frantically worked at a nearby control panel. I'm trying. It's not exactly labeled in English. Mara blasted another construct, covering Nathan as Carol grappled with two more. The insectoid alien darted between the chaos, moving faster than the machines could track. Alex turned back to the Watcher. It was no longer floating. It had descended fully onto the platform now, standing mere feet away. You are resilient, the Watcher admitted, but resilience will not save you. Alex exhaled, gripping the rod tighter. Maybe not, but I'll take my chances. The Watcher moved with inhuman speed, its hand striking out toward Alex. They barely managed to block, the impact sending shockwaves through their arm. Alex slid back but held their ground. Nathan. Almost there. Suddenly, the core flickered. The containment field shimmered, weakening for just a moment. Alex didn't hesitate. They drove the rod into the core's surface with all their strength. A deafening crack split the air as the containment field collapsed. Energy burst out in a blinding flash, sending Alex flying backward. The Watcher staggered, its form flickering violently as if the core's destruction had disrupted its connection to the fortress. Carol roared in triumph, throwing the last construct into the abyss below. Nathan shielded his eyes as the chamber shook violently. Mara grabbed Alex, pulling them to their feet. We need to move. Now. The core was unraveling, arcs of unstable energy spilling out into the chamber. The Watcher's voice echoed faintly as it struggled to maintain its form. You do not understand what you have done. Alex glared at the fading figure. I understand just fine. You can't control us anymore. As the fortress began to collapse, the group raced toward the exit, leaving the shattered core behind. They didn't stop running until the glow of the fortress was just a faint glimmer in the distance, fading like the last embers of a dying star. Nathan collapsed to the ground, panting. I can't believe that worked. Mara smirked. You'd be surprised how often human stupidity looks like bravery. Carol chuckled. Or perhaps, it is why humans are so dangerous. Alex gazed out at the stars, their hearts still pounding. The Watchers would rebuild. But now, they knew humanity wasn't something to toy with. They were a force that would never stop fighting. Ready or not. The triumph of humanity. A new dawn in the stars. The fortress burned behind them, glowing faintly against the vast backdrop of space. From the safety of a small observation platform on the edge of the alien structure, Alex, Mara, Nathan, and Carol stood in silence, watching the last remnants of the Watcher's power unravel. Sparks from the shattered core flickered out like dying stars. Nathan broke the silence first, still panting. I didn't think we were actually going to make it. Mara wiped sweat from her brow, leaning on her plasma rifle. We're not out of the woods yet. That was one fortress. There could be more. Carol crossed his lower arms while resting his upper ones on his hips. Perhaps, but they underestimated us once. They won't make that mistake again. Alex took a deep breath, the adrenaline slowly wearing off. Their arms still ached from the fight with the Watcher, but there was no time to rest. We need to get out of here, Alex said, turning toward the others. If we stay too long, the fortress might pull itself back together. Or worse, they might come looking for us. Nathan glanced around, rubbing the back of his neck. So, where exactly are we supposed to go? I don't see a way out of here. Mara motioned toward the far side of the chamber, where a small docking bay jutted out into space. A few sleek alien vessels hovered inside, untouched by the destruction spreading around them. We take one of their ships, Mara said confidently. They'd brought us here. Now we use their own tech to leave. Nathan's eyes widened. Steal a Watcher ship? Is that even possible? Carol let out a low, rumbling laugh. You humans enjoy tempting fate. Alex smirked. It's worked so far. The group hurried toward the docking bay. As they approached the ships, Alex noticed intricate symbols carved along the hulls, ancient markings that seemed to pulse faintly with energy. Carol reached out, pressing his clawed hand against the closest ship. The hull rippled under his touch, responding to him as if recognizing his presence. This vessel is dormant, Carl said. Its systems are tied to the core, but with the core destroyed, it's vulnerable. We can override it. Mara raised an eyebrow. You know how to fly this thing. Carol gave a slight nod. I have seen their controls before. It is different, but not impossible. Nathan grinned nervously. I guess we're trusting the lizard man with our lives then. Carol shot him a sideways glance. Do you have a better option? Nathan quickly shook his head. Nope, this works. Alex climbed aboard the ship, marveling at the sleek interior. Unlike human vessels, the Watcher's technology seemed organic, as if the ship had grown around the controls. The walls glowed softly, and the floor shifted to accommodate their steps. Merritt slid into the co-pilot's seat, while Nathan sat at a nearby console, poking at the alien symbols. "This is insane," he muttered, "but kind of cool." Carroll stood at the helm, his claws moving gracefully over the control panel. With a deep hum, the ship roared to life, lifting gently from the docking bay. The view outside shifted as the fortress grew smaller beneath them. As they soared into the star-filled expanse, Nathan let out a shaky laugh. "We actually did it." "For now," Alex said quietly, gazing out at the stars. Mara glanced over. "You don't look as excited as I thought you'd be." Alex sighed. "Because I know this isn't over." Nathan frowned. "What do you mean?" "We destroyed their core. Isn't that the end of it?" Carroll spoke without turning his gaze from the stars. "The Watchers are ancient. Their reach spans galaxies. One fortress falling will not stop them entirely." Alex nodded. "Exactly. But we've shown them something they didn't expect." Nathan arched a brow. "And that is?" Alex's eyes narrowed slightly, their gaze hardening. "That humans don't break as easily as they thought." Mara smirked. "They tried to test us, and we turned it into a war." Carroll chuckled softly. "A war that is only beginning." As the ship drifted further from the wreckage, Alex's mind raced with possibilities. The Watchers would rebuild, but so would humanity. The fight wasn't over, but for the first time, the odds weren't impossible. Nathan leaned back in his seat, arms crossed behind his head. "So, what now?" Alex smiled faintly. "Now, we find the others. If the Watchers pulled us into this, there are more survivors out there. We build something stronger, together." Carl's eyes gleamed approvingly. "Perhaps humanity is not as fragile as I thought." The stars stretched endlessly ahead, and for the first time, Alex felt something they hadn't felt since arriving at the fortress: hope. As the alien ship soared into the darkness, one thing was certain. The Watchers had awakened something far more dangerous than they anticipated, and humanity was just getting started.